private security company G4S has been accused of shying away from taking responsibility for Thabo Bester's prison escape. The murderer and rapist had gotten out of the Mangaung prison in May of last year after faking his own death. Now, it's been quite a heated day. Angry MPs are demanding answers from the company in Parliament. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila following the proceedings, joining us now this afternoon here on All Angles. Hello to you, Aviwe, and it's certainly many unhappy MPs. Without a doubt, though, it's going to be the story of Glenys Breitenbach laying into G4S this afternoon, simply just not buying what is being said. So tell us about what they said with regards to the fire in the prison cell.
Well, the Justice Committee here in Parliament, of course, trying to piece together the pieces and the puzzles of exactly what happened when Thabo Bester escaped. G4S, the company running the Mangaung prison, is in the hot seat here. They've just broken for lunch, but of course we're getting those details bit by bit, Gareth, and I'll try to just piece some of them. As you mentioned, that fire. On the day that Bester escaped, we do know that he was moved on the 30th of April after he had asked, of course, saying that he's fearing the gangs, especially the 26 gang in prison. So he's asking to be moved to a single cell. That's after he alleged that he hadn't paid that protection fee, so he needed to then, for his safety, be moved. That was, I understand, authorized, and he was then moved to this particular cell. But on the day that he escaped, we do know that the surveillance footage, CCTVs, weren't operational from 1938 up until just after 4 o'clock. So that entire time, the footage wasn't actually working. And the times of the fire themselves, Gareth, while G4S says that the fire happened at around 4 a.m., the committee members here were pushing pointed questions with their knowledge that they have on the ground. Remember that they did a site inspection just last week. They suggest that this fire broke out at around 2:30 a.m. and it was reported at around 3 o'clock. Some of what actually happened in that cross-questioning. Let's first take a look at that particular incident with the cross-questioning of the G4S managers here.
There was 2 reports that night, a report at 3 o'clock that reported there was a fire. It was investigated by the supervisor, Senoi. It formed part of the reason why he was suspended and found guilty and dismissed, as he did not investigate that properly. The reason why the 4 o'clock is this is when the official incident happened, what led to the investigation. So that's why there's 4 o'clock on the document. There was an incident of 3 o'clock, I confirm that, and it's in the same time that the 2 officials that we referred to, or 2 persons, was viewed on the camera for a few seconds on the video footage that was shown to the committee.
Why are you telling us that 2:30, 2:59 the fire broke? It was then reported at 4 o'clock. Why are you giving us 4 o'clock at the fire broke?
Because that's the official time that the fire broke, Honourable Member, that led to the incident.
That is not. The CCTV footage says 2:59 it was reported from your controller room. 2:30 fire broke. You are saying here 4 o'clock fire broke. Why are you not saying to us that at 4 o'clock in terms of your documentation and your administrational processes, that's when it was recorded? You are confirming that 3 o'clock indeed it broke, but you are writing to us here in black and white that it's 4 o'clock.
Honourable Member, I can only say I'm sorry that 3 o'clock is not included in the document. It was, however, included in our investigation. It was looked at, and as I've indicated, that gave the reasons why we acted against the employees.
Aviwe, I'm sure you'll agree, it certainly hasn't been a very easy day. It's been hard going for G4S and their officials. So that is what was the big question around the timing of the fire. Other questions being asked around his cell, Thabo Bester's cell, being moved to cell 35, but that's only half the story. The other very interesting part, Aviwe, elaborate for me here, is that this was actually very close to an emergency exit.
One of the coincidental matters, if it isn't a coincidence, Gareth, but it seemed like this cell 35 that is now famous, of course, was particularly positioned to be the perfect place for an escape. One, you just mentioned that it's near the emergency fire escape, so it'll be easy to maneuver, to move from cell 35 out of the prison. The other important aspect of it all is that it's far away from the CCTV footage. You can poorly see what is actually happening on the cell. It's quite some distance off. So it's one of the significant factors and one of those pointed questions that were asked by the Justice Committee here as to why cell 35, knowing very well, of course, that they did that site inspection. They were informed that it's quite a distance off from the CCTV footage, and the other thing, it's near an emergency exit. Let's take a listen to that cross-questioning here of the G4S management.
What did you do to those who are alleged to be the 26 gang inside the prison cell? Did you do anything?
Honourable Member, according to my knowledge...
Those who threatened Thabo Bester, did you do anything with them?
At this moment, I don't have that information.
You did nothing. The last issue, Chair, I want to cover is the last issue, and I'm sure I'm still fine in terms of time. You take Mr. Bester to cell 35. Firstly, do you agree that cell 35 is a blind spot from cameras? Do you agree?
It's not a blind spot, Honourable Member, but it's poorly seen on TV because the camera is a little bit far from that point, but you can see...
What is a blind spot? How do you define a blind spot? In your own understanding?
A blind spot is where you can see nothing, sir.
Okay. Do you agree that cell 35 is next to an emergency exit? Do you agree?
Agree.
All right, then another poignant question being asked. The visitor, the unscheduled visitor, the unknown visitor to Thabo Bester, Aviwe.
2 days after I'd actually made that application on the 15th of May to be moved to this single cell, now that we know is cell 35, he had a visitor. Also, there's an unauthorized vehicle that entered the prison itself, where we do understand it was supposed to be a TV stand of some sort. Still no clear indication what was there, as the footage, of course, of the prison gets deleted after 7 days. But another investigation, in fact, is being looked into from February, we're told by G4S, where 7 suspensions added to that 3 that were eventually fired last year are added to the employees of G4S. In fact, let's take a listen to that conversation around the visitor and this unauthorized vehicle.
Thabo Bester makes an application on the 15th of April. On the 16th of April, Thabo Bester receives a secret visit. Who is this person who visited Bester on the 16th of April? Name him. The person who visited Bester on the 16th of April 2022, who is that? You don't know.
Perhaps, Honourable Chair, I can ask my colleagues, do you have knowledge of a visit, regardless of the person, on that day to inmate Bester?
I can confirm that his visit record proved no visit on that specific day.
Chair, I will submit to the committee deliberations that Bester had a secret visitor on the 16th of April 2022, and G4S is dishonest.
All right, Aviwe, I'm going to say thank you very much down in Cape Town for us. Going to give you enough time to get back into that Parliamentary Portfolio Committee. It did adjourn for lunch, is expected to begin again in 9 minutes' time, 20 minutes after 1 o'clock. Of course, it will be live here on eNCA.